we couldn't, in good conscience, just, sit around and not try to do something.
So last week I went to a farm stand here in Atlanta in the Summerhill neighborhood. This farm stand is held at Freewell Farms, and it's typically closed at this point in the year, but they opened it up because of coronavirus, and they wanted to make sure that members of our community have access to fresh foods. In the week since I recorded the interviews you're about to see, a lot has developed with coronavirus, and it has undoubtedly horrifically intensified. There's a lot of fear. In some ways there's not enough fear. I still want to share with y'all these interviews that I collected. So enjoy and stay safe. And if you're watching this in the future, we did it, yeah? All right.
My name is Betsy Gonzalez. I'm the owner and baker of Osono Bread, which is a microbakery based in Southwest Atlanta. So Osono Bread is a sourdough bakery. So I'm the head baker, essentially the one-woman show that I operate, and I bake sourdough bread that's fermented for 24 hours, and I bake exclusively with local flour from Georgia and North Carolina.
And right now we are at a farm stand, and we're sort of at this farm stand under special circumstances because the city is under quarantine. We're in a pandemic.
Yes.
But you are still out here.
Yeah, so partnered up with Chattahoochee Queen and Freewell Farms. We both have access to providing food for the community. Brent is a farmer, so he has items growing out of the ground, and so does Evan. And then with myself, I still have access to flour. And so all of our missions has always been to serve the community in whatever way, and whatever our passions are. And so collectively we decided to operate our farm stand this week to provide food for the community.
And can you talk about who is the community here at Summerhill?
Yeah, so here at Summerhill, historically the neighborhood started, I believe, in the 1800s, and it has definitely, the demographic has changed significantly in the last recent years with gentrification, which has been a topic of concern throughout the city of Atlanta. For what I've seen, it's the demographic ranges from young and old, of different incomes, and also of different races as well.
I saw on Instagram recently how you guys were doing something where like nobody would be turned down for lack of funds, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so currently with COVID-19 or the coronavirus, the thing that has been highlighted with the growing concerns of the virus is actually the economic systems that we have in place, or the ones we actually have realized that we don't really have in place. So we're kind of seeing cracks in the systems, and so our hospitality industry that are of restaurants and bartenders and other food makers and growers and whatnot have been severely affected by the coronavirus, and folks have been losing their jobs and are at this point where there's just intense amount of uncertainty. And so what we decided was, okay, everyone is feeling very next income, but also food. We still have to continue to nourish our bodies, and so we decided that we weren't going to turn anyone away with this farm stand.
And do you think that being in this neighborhood, like you said, there's a demographic shift, there's gentrification, and do you think that having that, not turning people away, is opening up the farm stand to like the whole community?
Yeah, I definitely think so. We have typically operated throughout this summer to late winter, and this was my first time participating with Brent at Freewell Farms, and I found myself being able to connect with people that I wouldn't have normally connected with. I'm just very thankful for all of the community leaders in our industries that we have, from our farmers to restaurant owners, to even just regular servers in the food community. We've all kind of come together to check in with one another mentally, but also financially, to see what are ways we can come together to create more economic opportunities during this very scary time.
For sure. Thank you so much, Betsy.
You're very welcome.
Who are you?
Brent Hall with Freewell Farm.
And this is Freewell Farm right here, yeah?
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, actually this is one of 3 sites, but this is our first site. We started here in 2013. We expanded to another site in Druid Hills, and we now have a 3rd site in like Mount Perrin, North Side area. So yeah, been doing it since 2013. We got about a little over an acre in cultivation between the 3 sites, and this is sort of our hub, our main site here.
And so you guys have this farmer stand every Wednesday, right?
Yeah, during the sort of main season. So typically we do it from like May through December, but with what's been going on with the grocery stores, and you know, it's interesting. I've been talking with other farmers about how, you know, from a farmer's perspective, everything is ramping up. You know, the weather's changing, it's getting warmer, all the plants are growing like crazy, and we're making a big push to get everything in the ground and harvesting things. And but it's very interesting how sort of the energy around the virus and what's going on worldwide is a very different kind of vibe. But even though all of that's going on, we have a ton of food coming out of the ground, and so we thought it was only right to do a farm stand like this and get fresh produce to people, or, you know, there's no produce on the grocery store shelves right now. So, yeah.
So I am correct in understanding this is normally closed. You're open today because of Corona.
Yeah, we would not normally be doing this. We have a lot, like, this is our time when we're doing infrastructure projects. Tomorrow we're building a new walk-in cooler. We're building a greenhouse right now. We're trying to get everything planted out. It's a super busy time for us, and we kind of need this time as farmers typically to get all of our projects done and our planting done. But yeah, we couldn't in good conscience just, you know, sit around and not try to do something. So
yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
yeah.
How do you feel like Atlanta has been coming together under Corona, especially within the food community and like agriculture and farm to table? Do you think that there has been a lot more?
It's interesting to see, what's happening. I think there's a lot of I don't know, sad stories that you hear, but also a lot of beautiful things that are coming of it. Of course, everybody's feeling the pinch, you know, and people are being laid off, businesses are closing, but people are also adapting. And so, you know, I've been mainly focused on farms and restaurants that support farms and sort of the local food system, and what we're seeing is people getting creative about distributing their produce. Farms like overnight creating these online ordering systems, grab and go bags, gift certificate sales. The farmers markets have been fighting to stay open, and I think everybody agrees that they're a critical form of you know, getting groceries that people need to be able to access. So I think everybody's really kicking in and doing their part, just from what I've seen on social media, from talking with friends. It seems like people are really pulling together and trying to find solutions.
Okay, so this neighborhood we're in right now, Summerhill, has, like, you know, a story of gentrification and change, and we're seeing a lot of demographic change.
Yeah.
But despite that, do you feel like this farmer's market or this farmer stand reaches throughout the entire community?
We're definitely trying to. I think it's always something we could do better on, and, you know, I come from sort of a community organizing background, and so one of the things we try to do to really get the word out, regardless of if people even have a computer or a cell phone, we're going door to door with handbills to let people know about the farm stand and about the farmers market down the road. And yeah, we accept SNAP EBT, we double SNAP EBT, and we've been really trying to explore ways to do reduced cost shares. Like, we call them like solidarity shares. It's just an idea that we're just starting to get going now, seeing if we can get outside funding to help cover the cost for community members who can't afford the full price, because food is expensive and food should be expensive. And, you know, I stand by that statement because farmers typically are underpaid across the world. You know, food should cost more than it does, and there's a lot of hidden costs behind it. So we're trying to run a financially viable business where we can pay our staff, pay our employees, but we also know that the system doesn't allow a lot of people to pay the true cost of this type of good food. So we're trying to come up with creative solutions so people can access this food, and make sure that they know we're here, and how to get to us and when to come shop with us. So, yeah, we're trying, but yeah, I think it could always be better. And you're right, Summerhill. It was a very different neighborhood when we started here back in 2013. A lot has happened, but I would like to think we've been a good neighbor and providing a valuable service to the community. So.
Very nice. One thing I noticed on the Instagram post that I saw that raised my attention to this farm stand was that anybody who can't afford something will not be turned away for lack of funds. Can you talk a little bit about that decision?
Yeah, I think just seeing what's happening right now with the grocery stores, understanding the way that our food system works. A lot of times people, low-income folks, do not have access to this type of food. And even, it may be that you don't have transportation to get to the store, it may be that you don't have the funds to purchase the food, it may be that when you get there after a long shift, it's all sold out on the store shelves. So we want to be here and open and accessible to the community, and set up in a way that doesn't stigmatize or penalize people who are not, or make people feel unwelcome if they don't have funds to buy this type of produce. This is not for us about making money. We need to make money to pay our employees and pay our bills, but it's about more than that. And so that's the reason why we're doing this right now when we wouldn't be otherwise. We want this food to go to the community, and so we if people can't afford it, you just pay what you can, and we're willing to absorb that cost. Now, what I will say is, if funders out there's a lot of people in this country who have excessive wealth and are not great about sharing it, and this is the kind of thing that if folks wanted to step in and help fund CSA shares, fund produce for folks who do not have the means to purchase it, this is something that I know a lot of farmers would be willing to do, because nobody gets into farming to make money. Nobody that I know anyways. We're in it to feed people, and so that means feeding everyone. And so we need to come up with ways that everybody has access to this kind of food. Stay safe, stay healthy. Yeah. Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, you too. This is awesome doing this. I mean,
sorry. Sweet. Yeah. That's where we're operating
No, it's fine.
this evening.
I'm good with that. I guess I'll get some tulips.
Hey!
Which ones? Which ones do I want?
Ooh, that is a question only you can answer. Alright, I'll check this out. Sir, the chips are up. Before they go back in the water, I hope you have a lovely day as well. Here's this.
So, can you tell us who you are?
My name is Evan Franklin Neal, and that's my name. What else?
And what are you doing here today?
Oh gosh, good question. I'm currently trying to find these flowers new homes. Yeah, because they are blooming abundantly, and I'm doing my best to harvest them all in due time. And then I take them home, I bunch them, and then I gotta sell them somehow. Anemones, ranunculus, tulips, narcissus. Yeah, pretty good grouping.
So we're out here today under special conditions.
Yes.
From what I understand, this farm stand is normally not open this time of year, but because of Corona, it is.
Betsy and Brent and I decided, and you may have heard this already from them, but we were at the Grant Park Farmers Market where we all sell this past Sunday, and everyone, all the farmers, and a lot of the other vendors got cleaned out super quick. Before that, it was all very uncertain, very shaky, like, are people gonna come out to the farmers market? Are people scared? But I think a lot of folks are treating it like, it's their source of food, it's their
social outlet to some extent, although that's had to be sort of tamped down a little bit. But after seeing how quickly all that food moved and how quickly all my flowers that I had on Sunday moved, it was like, dude, there's a need out here, and people are going to come out and get it, and people are cooking a lot of meals at home right now and spending a little more time indoors.
On social media, when I learned about this farm stand and that y'all were open today, was that, you know, a lot of the food would be available even if somebody didn't have the funds.
For sure.
Does that extend to flowers as well?
I mean, it's always got to. I'm always looking, I mean, I didn't say that outright, explicitly, but I'm always looking for ways to give people something extra, and especially if they need it, you know, whether it's, I don't know, moms, people who just want it, you know, like can't decide, like maybe they want it but they're not going to splurge on it, you know. It's always good to step in and make sure they get those flowers home, and then they can enjoy them, you know. It's I mean, it's kind of an extra or a superfluous thing, you know. Everybody needs food to live, but you don't need flowers to survive. The fact that they're blooming like crazy, like these flowers do need a home, and if someone can't afford, like I could switch it up and do a donation-based sort of thing, like suggest a donation. That might be a good way to put it in the future, because I didn't do that today, but I think moving forward, and especially at the farm stand, and especially in these crazy times, that's going to be a good way to do it.
I guess you don't necessarily need flowers to survive.
Right.
But they definitely brighten up our lives.
They definitely help. Yeah.
They help make life beautiful, right?
Yeah. And it's therapeutic, man. I mean, I think of it as like color therapy, you know, texture therapy. Yeah. I mean, I love it in just the work, like the harvesting, bunching, looking, handling. But I mean, it's definitely like a salve for the soul kind of thing. Like, you might not need it to live, but it definitely makes your quality of life better, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jess.
Of course,
anything else, Neil?
Anything else?
Yeah. Any closing thoughts?
I feel like we're at a pretty big cultural shift right now, or we're like at the brink of it, to look at our food system and just economic system and everything. So trying to think positive and think on what's gonna like happen after this is all over.